Trustee Mahan?
Here.
Trustee Tabeldi?
Here.
Trustee March?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brown?
Here.
Trustee Lamont?
Here.
Trustee Padilla?
Here.
Mayor Kreitz? Excused.
Excused.
Mayor Pro Tem, you have a quorum.
Excellent. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mayor Pro Tem.
And no special presentations?
No special presentations.
All right, we'll move on to public comment. This portion of the agenda is provided to allow members of the audience to provide comments to the Board of Trustees. Please sign in and you will be called if your comments or concerns require an action. That item or items will need to be placed on a later agenda. Please limit the time of your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment?
There's nobody in the public here.
No public comment,
Okay,
Mayor Pro Tem.
All right, do we have any staff reports?
No staff reports tonight.
And do I need to read the consent agenda even though there's nothing on the consent agenda?
No.
All right, then we're going to move on to the executive session portion of tonight's meeting. I move to go into executive session for a conference with the town attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS section 24-6-402-4B regarding water change case.
Second.
Trustee Padilla?
Yes.
Trustee Lamont?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brown?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Mahan?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Trustee Tabeldi?
Oh, excuse me.
I'll say yes too.
Okay, thank you. Passes 6-0.
All right, well then here we go. It is January 21st, 2025, and the time is 6:42 p.m. For the record, I am the presiding officer, Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
So
I'm so sorry.
we'll go into the executive
We
session.
don't have to do that out here? Oh, that's wonderful.
We'll go into the conference room. So for those that are joining the executive session, you should have that link. We'll have you leave this meeting and join that one so that we'll be in the right place. See you on the other side.
God, just stopped me. I was getting a head of steam there. I was going to just roll.
You're gonna roll right on.
Trustee March, do you have the other link?
Thank you. The time is now 8:53 p.m. and the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were trustees Lamont, March, Mahan, Tavelli, Padilla, Brian Osler, Jason Myers, Tricia David, Emily Nishler, Kylie Couch, Sarah Watson, Jennifer Dalala, Matt Walsh, and Molly Haug-Ringers. For the record, if any persons who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matter not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session, or any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concern for the record. Seeing none, we will move on to our action agenda and item B.
Before we move on, if we could get a motion directing staff to move forward with the negotiations within the parameters that were discussed.
Mayor Pro Tem Brown, I move to direct staff to move forward with negotiations and the parameters that were discussed in executive session.
Second.
Trustee Tabeldi?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Lamont?
Yes.
Trustee Padilla?
Yes.
Trustee Mahan?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, now action item B.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Board of Trustees. Before you today is consideration for water storage agreement between the Tiefel family and EAS, Eldorado Artesian Springs in the town.
You click on it. There you go. Try it again. There you go.
That work? Yeah. Okay. So again, this is related to our lower boulder change chase for being able to replace return flows where we need to. Return flows are flows that would have naturally gone to streams after being used for irrigation purposes. And as we take the shares out of irrigation use and for municipal use, we do need to make sure that those return flows are being made. This is a very important part of our change case. Here's a diagram that shows essentially that process of you have a diversion, you have your ditch loss, irrigation, and then you have your return flows, your delayed return flows. That's more like your groundwater infiltration. And if you change that by putting it into storage or into a different use, you're still meeting those delayed return flows and those ditch losses to the system. So the reason why the town approached the Tiefel family, they're over off of 287 near Dawson, the school, if you're familiar with that area, near the Boulder Creek there. They have a location that is very well strategically placed between the lower Boulder Ditch, which is this southern line here, and the Boulder Creek, which is the northern line here, where we could make releases from Tiefel Pond to Boulder Creek to meet those return flows. And it's very important to be able to meet the return flows for farms generally to the west of this line. The return flows for the shares subject farms to the east of that line are generally going to be made through Millvac and through the Gauding Hollow augmentation, as we previously discussed. EAS, they are an owner of the remainder of the Johnston Farm property. You're familiar with the farm development is adjacent to that. And they owe return flow to the Mayfield Hollow and the Gauding Hollow. So again, Tiefel Pond, great positioning for us. The Eldorado Retention Springs had an existing agreement with the Tiefel Pond for storage in Tiefel Pond to meet the return flows at a later date. So the town would be essentially taking over that storage that EAS has with the Tiefel Pond for the town's use. And we would be exchanging that with EAS for a portion of storage in Millvac Lake to meet those needs that they are not going to be able to meet as they transfer storage from Tiefel to the town. So the storage volume that we're talking about is 2.5 acre feet of water. It's about 4 to 7 inches of depth in the reservoir, so that's not a lot when we're talking about a reservoir that is quite deep. And that's generally what that would look like visually based on the stage of the reservoir. So again, this is one of the pieces in their change case. Next steps are to work with objectors on stipulations, prepare for trials set to begin early February, and continue to work on future augmentation stations and other infrastructure improvements required for the use of that changed water. Do you have any questions? And recommendations. I don't have a resolution number, but there's some language for you guys for that. We would recommend approval of that agreement.
The resolution's 25R17.
Yes, resolution number 17.
I appreciate all the information we've received ahead of time about this and for the presentation. So I would move that we approve Resolution 25R17, the water storage agreement consideration between the town of Frederick and EAS.
Second.
Trustee Mahan?
Yes.
Trustee Tabeldi?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Lamont?
Yes.
Is that 6? Passes.
Yes.
Idea. Thank you. Sorry. Motion passes 6-0.
Awesome. All right, that's all the business we have. Any mayor trustee reports?
No.
Nope. Nope. All right, that's it, everybody. Have a great evening. This meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you.